The fifth-generation Ford Explorer was groundbreaking when it debuted in 2011, but while its drivability and more aerodynamic style impressed at the time, the Explorer did not age well. Despite its large footprint, the cabin felt small. The aging powertrain lineup featured a standard and inefficient V6, the interior went without the premium touches the competition has adopted, while the last Explorer was trailing the class in active safety by a wide margin. And now comes the 2020 Ford Explorer, a clean sheet rethink for the blue oval. But some old problems remain, despite Ford's redesign of this vital three-row crossover. For example, when it comes to the interior, and to be entirely frank, it's just fine. Not good, not great, not bad, regardless of trim. The XLT and Limited have very little differentiation, with just slivers of dash and door trim distinguishing the two. The Platinum gets a leather-covered dash that looks much nicer than the lesser cars, and also ditches the wildly cheap and unattractive plastics that surround the climate-controlled vents, a lowlight in a cabin that feels otherwise competitive. The seat materials is fine throughout the trims, with typical cloth on the XLT model and standard leather on the Limited. But the range-topping Platinum's hides certainly do not feel worthy of the nearly $60,000 starting price. In truth, no amount of perforation or contrast stitching can overshadow that model's eyebrow-raising price tag. The main critique of the cabin, though, rests with its technology. While the active safety is excellent, the Sync 3 infotainment has somehow gotten worse. The standard 8-inch touchscreen looks and feels tiny and suffers from information overload, especially while using the navigation. The poor design makes it difficult to follow directions, as well as to know where to look. There is no dedicated navigation display in the gauge space, even with the massive 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. The available 10.3-inch touchscreen isn't as problematic, mainly owing to its extra real estate, although it lacks the ease of use and customizability of other big displays from Ram and Volvo. Also, its portrait-style setup looks cheap and tacked on, like someone nailed an iPad to the dash. The Explorer's price, however, is anything but cheap. While there is a base Explorer priced at $32,700, the price tag balloons quickly if you select either of the Explorer's volume trims, the XLT and Limited. A rear-wheel drive XLT starts at $36,600, but once you tack on the $2,000 for all-wheel drive and another $1,100 for destination, you are starting at $40,000. Jump into the Limited swells the price to $48,000 before destination or all-wheel drive, while the hybrid powertrains adds $4,150 to the sticker. With all of these negatives, why would you choose the Explorer over many other rivals that offer much better value for even lower MSRPs? Take for example the Toyota Highlander. Starting at $35,000, it's $3,000 more than the base Explorer, but its interior is miles ahead in terms of quality, with its massive 12.3-inch touchscreen, one of the largest in the class and standard on this range-topping Platinum model. The screen sits front and center and wears a sharp silver trim piece that meshes seamlessly to the surrounding dash, unlike the tacked-on look of the Explorers. The setup comes accented by a nice leather trim on the dash, in this case a two-tone dark brown and beige finish, a wood grain on the center console, and black leather on the steering wheel and gauge clusters around. As for space, the second and third row seats are wrapped in the same plush leather as the fronts, and they offer the right mix of comfort and support. It's worth noting though that while second row comfort is superior in the Highlander, the third row is just as cramped as in the Explorer. And as for pricing, the 2020 Highlander might have a higher base price, but a top-tier Platinum hybrid front-wheel drive comes in at just under $50,000. Sticking with gas models for better points of comparison, I would opt for the $40,000-ish XLE front-wheel drive trim, which still has loads of safety systems, heated seats, and wireless device charging. And it looks like an even better deal when you compare it to the Explorer's Limited trim that costs $5,000 more for almost the same kit. If you don't mind a smaller screen, leatherette, and a non-panoramic moonroof, there is a lot of money to be saved. If neither the Toyota's nor the Ford's design please you, and somehow you want to save even more money, then the all-new Kia Sorento might just be what the doctor ordered. Starting at just under $30,000, it's $5,000 less than both the Ford and the Toyota, while offering a bold new design among the more humdrum rivals in the segment. Standard LED headlights punctuate its front end, while the coarsely textured grille is more sculptural than what you will find on other Kias. This vehicle's front and sides are beautifully done. though its rear is a bit busy, with too many creases and some Audi-inspired faux exhaust outlets in the bumper. In keeping with its attractive body, the Sorrento's interior is quite excellent, at least in the high-end SX Prestige trim. There is plenty of soft plastic, the quilted leather seating surfaces look great, and its textured trim pieces add some visual interest without being overly busy. Lots of Telluride influence is apparent as well, from the position of the seat heater switches to the design of the door pulls to the slick-feeling mechanical shifter. Overall, this interior is comfortable, spacious, and rivals that of both the Toyota and the Ford. Aside from a few questionable design choices and less than ideal transmission, the 2021 Kia Sorento SX Prestige is an excellent all-around SUV. Sweetening the deal, this vehicle is a strong value. The nearly top-of-the-line version you see here checks out for a still reasonable $42,200. But honestly, the Sorento feels like it should cost at least a few grand more than that, thanks to its comfortable and spacious interior, pleasant dynamics, and attractive design. But if somehow none of the aforementioned choices cut it for you, and you want the best bang for the buck, then the Hyundai Palisade is the way to go. Starting at just under $33,000, it undercuts both the Explorer and the Highlander while offering superior usability and quality. This is a 3-row SUV that can genuinely seat 8 adults, with even the third row offering adequate space for average-sized people. For the driver, there is a clean and logical control layout and a plethora of standard gear such as smart cruise control, lane follow-and assist, and a power-adjustable seat. All versions feel upscaled thanks to the soft touch cabin materials such as the dashboard, which is wrapped in imitation or genuine leather, while top trims are lavishly specified with features like a heated steering wheel, a head-up display, and wireless device charging. On the outside, whereas Toyota's and Ford's designers played it safe with a more upright traditional design, the Palisade's designers have played it anything but safe. Frankly, I found that this vehicle crocodile front end takes some getting used to, not unlike my reaction to other recent Hyundai SUVs, from the Santa Fe to the Kona. As those models have proliferated, however, I have found I've quickly gotten used to their unusual grille shapes and novel split-stacked front-end lighting. That familiarity then likely isn't just because the Palisade gets easier on the eyes the more you take in both its details and overall shape. It's because this vehicle is so well engineered and seamlessly designed that it wins you over with the way it fits in your hectic family life. What's more, an entry-level 2021 Palisade SE starts at an entirely reasonable $33,000, including a $1,140 destination fee. That outlay gets you a practical, comfortable, and well-made 3-row utility vehicle. But for drivers that want a bit more, or really a lot more, the Calligraphy model checks out at $49,000, not at all unreasonable sum for what practically feels like a Lexus. The 2021 Palisade Calligraphy is an unexpectedly premium SUV, essentially icing on top of what is already a fundamentally excellent vehicle. Hyundai as a brand may be as mainstream as McDonald's, but it delivered a luxury-level product that fancier automakers would be proud to have in their showrooms. And finally, for the honorable mentions, there aren't many crossovers that can comfortably seat 8 adults for around $30,000, but the Chevy Traverse is one of them. When it comes to space, the Traverse has more passenger and cargo room than most of the competition, even though they may be superior in other categories. Although the 2021 model was meant to receive a more substantial facelift, these upgrades have been delayed. Still, while far from an all-new model, the current Traverse makes a good case for itself. It's only available with a V6 engine in both front-wheel and all-wheel drive. And while most of the aforementioned competitors might offer a better interior or a more refined engine and transmission, still it offers comfort and convenience to the average family at an extremely reasonable price. The Traverse is a study in functional design with mass-market appeal. There isn't a single line or detail that will offend, nor will it ever draw attention to itself. It's handsome yet restrained. What this 8-passenger SUV does best is space. There are 3 rows of seats, and all of them offer usable space. The third row, which is usually reserved for children and other mid-size crossovers, has enough head and legroom for an average-sized adult. There is something inherently likable about an honest car. The Chevy is up against some serious competition in the US, even some within its own extended GM family. But the Traverse continues to do well, and we think it's because it's completely unpretentious and not trying to be something it's not. there are 7 trim levels available, and the interiors of the base spec model and the top spec model aren't close to being the same thing. Even so, the top spec High Country doesn't feature the sort of materials we expect at $50,000. It's more halfway the mountain than High Country. The best spec would be moving up to the LT cloth trim level. It offers heated mirrors, a power driver's seat, the 7-passenger seat configuration, a leather-wrapped steering wheel, black roof rails, and it lists for $36,000 $300 with front-wheel drive or $40,000 $100 with all-wheel drive. Option packages are also available to add more features and safety equipment, of course. The LT leather package adds not just leather seating, but also a whole lot of convenience gear. 360-degree camera, rear parking sensors, remote liftgate, remote start, and much more, costing just $40,000 or $42,000 depending on traction chosen. So, which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for the latest car reviews and news. Take care, see you in the next one.